Welcome to my channel. I'm sorry it's been so long, guys, but I'm back and I decided to work on making more content for you and posting more frequently, but bear with me as I gather some new content together to start posting on a weekly basis. The other thing is that I'm learning to edit. In fact, this is my first video trying to edit, so take it easy on me, guys. And lastly, I changed the name of this channel to Psychonauts, which means someone who explores their own inner consciousness leading to self-mastery. This is a topic we're going to be exploring and covering and giving you real tools and techniques on how to do this. So I decided to share with you a video that I did with a moon circle meeting with my coven, and it's just basically a great group of women that get together and we go over a ceremony and topics such as syncing up with the natural events that occur on the calendar, the importance of symbology, and the significance of the moon. So if you enjoyed this virtual coven meeting, please subscribe and stay tuned for more. How are you guys doing this background? I'm jealous right now.
There was an option when you signed on.
Oh my god, I missed that. I missed my opportunity.
Okay, now I can hear everybody.
Okay. Hi, Keys. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. Chilling.
Thanks for joining.
Oh man, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So I know some of us know each other. We've all been communicating, but I want to go in and do a quick introduction again. So if you can just, maybe Lilith, we'll start with you since you're the first to join. Lilith, if you could just say your name, anything you want to tell us, your zodiac, your pronoun, where you're from, whatever you want. And also tell us a little bit again about your experience with magic and mysticism and witchcraft. Where are you in all of this? And then after Lilith, we'll go to you, Morgan, and then Laura, and then Keys.
Okay. So my pronouns are she, her. I'm from Iowa, but I moved to Colorado in 2010. So I've been here for a good 10 years. What else? I am Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Leo, rising, and Aquarius moon. What else? I've been doing this for about a little under a year, so I'm still very, very new. I don't know, kind of just experimenting with everything and trying to learn new things every day.
Awesome. Just quick pause. Hi, Emily. Hi. How's it going? We're just going through the group right now and introducing each other. So we'll get to you. We're just doing it in order. So Morgan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi guys. I'm Morgan. My pronouns are she, her. I've been in Colorado for about 20 years now. I am a Sagittarius. My experience with witchcraft has been, I'm going on about a year and a half now, and it was one of those where it was like, oh, this makes so much more sense than anything else I had explored before. And so I really like the community. I'm super excited about this group just because there hasn't been a whole lot. I searched and searched and searched for covens close by and things like that. Could not find anything. So it was really exciting once this group got put together. Yeah, that's about it.
Hey, Laura.
Hi. So, oh wait, you said Laura, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pronouns she, her. That's okay. They, them.
kind of preferable. My experience is fairly limited. I've got like some like untamed psychic abilities that I figured, fuck it, if we're going into the apocalypse, there's no better time to try and hone that than now. Sign Pisces, rising Scorpio, moon.
Hell yeah. All right, keys.
Okay. What was y'all talking about? The noun, pronoun? That I'm a her.
You can feel free to introduce yourself however you like. So just say your name, any info, and basically like what your magical practices are. What have you experienced with?
Okay. I'm born and raised in a small town in Kentucky. When I graduated high school, I moved to Indianapolis, and whenever I got pregnant with my only son was when I really started having a lot of my experiences. I'm also epileptic, so when that aspect came into my life, that brought me into my spirituality a lot as well. I'm an herbalist. I spend a lot of time searching for natural remedies. Like I was saying before, I'm from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I lived in Indianapolis, Indiana for about 10 years. I got a kid, a baby daddy, that whole 9 yard. And I came back to Kentucky recently, right before this whole corona pandemic started going crazy. And I'm here with all my family. I'm grateful for that. I have a kid. I'm a Leo sun, Sagittarius rising, and a Scorpio moon. I've probably been on this path for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. I really wish JoJo had been able to make it because he was having some audio difficulties, but he's also epileptic, who's really come into his spirituality through it. So I think you two would have a lot to like connect on. But
okay.
Yeah,
maybe we can link up later. That'd be dope.
Oh yeah, I'll put you guys in touch. So Emily, tell us a bit about yourself and how you came into your magical practice and what your experience is.
All right, so I'm Emily. I go by all the female pronouns. And I'm an Aquarius, originally from Chicago, but I also live in South America. And part of that has exposed me to some of the plants that's there, particularly with coca leaves and calling of the Ahayu, is what the natives call it in South America. But for me, I never really honed anything in. Like I had the weird thing of when I dream, I tend to have premonitions of things that are to come. Mm-hmm. And so I have a lot of that when I'm dreaming, and like I'll just know like, okay, today's going to be a really bad day, or something's going to happen, or even when I explored, like I had the premonition of believe it going on before it did. And then the other thing I had that I haven't honed in, and that's why I'm fairly new, because I've had it my whole life, but I haven't started honing it in real well, like with the astral projecting side of the house. I've done it, but with unintentionally done it. Yeah. Not necessarily because I wanted to, and I'd rather just hone it in now and take control of that.
Yeah. Right on. All right. So my name is Zoe. I don't care whatever you want to call me. I don't care about pronouns, whatever you want to call me or see me as. And I've been in touch with mysticism since I was born, but like I was brought to awareness of it probably in like my pre-adolescence, like around age 10. And I kind of like in a way where when I was a kid, I only had access to the internet, so I'd look things up. And my first encounter was with Wicca, but that didn't last long. It didn't suit me. So
I ended up getting into more Eastern traditions and doing like work with yoga and Buddhism, and I went traveling around Asia. And,
Oh, hell yeah.
and then when I moved back to the United States, I ended up exploring more Native and South American traditions. And that's when I did like peyote ceremonies with the Native American Church. And I went to South America.
Oh, that's right.
And did ayahuasca ceremonies. But which is why right now I really like chaos magic, which is a 20th century magic that it sort of like gets to the bare bones of
What'd you call it? Chaos magic?
chaos magic. It gets to the bare bones of mystical practices. So it accepts all traditions and looks at the mechanics of how things are operated. So like, how do traditions like interact with gods and deities? How are rituals performed? What is like herbology all over the world? And it integrates it together in a way that's cohesive. So, and Morgan, I also want to say that I feel you about the coven thing in Denver. I was really active in like the New Age spiritual group here, but I was just a little bit like too dark and crazy for that. I was like, they're like, namaste. I'm like, namaste, bitches. And they're like, no, we don't use that.
We don't say that word.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What's this noise?
Wow. I'd be out.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna have us drop into a quick 5-minute meditation just to sort of ground and get into the spirit of the circle. Does anyone like want to know anything about meditation? Has everyone tried it before? Don't be
Yeah, I'm from Boulder. I'm good.
You're from Boulder, you're good. That's the truest thing I've heard. Okay.
Yeah, I can do 5 minutes.
Yeah. I figured I'm keeping things kind of like light since this is like our first circle. So I'm not sacrificing my boyfriend yet.
Right.
At this point, we all dropped into a brief meditation. If you want to join along, you can, or you can keep watching. But if you want to join along, simply take a timer and set it for around 5 minutes. Now find a comfortable and relaxed position that you can stay in for the amount of time. Focus on your breath and use it as an anchor for your focus. As your thoughts begin to stray, gently bring them back to your breath. Keep repeating this process till the meditation is over. Remember, there is no need for judgment, and there is no need to make it a competition. Just go with the flow.
All right. Just take your time to come out of it. Take some deep breaths.
Excuse me.
How was that for everybody?
Good.
Good.
Nice minus the people screaming next door.
That's always fun.
Yeah, no. I had my little one asking for a hamburger or a cheeseburger.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
Got a dog roaring in the background. So if you guys caught that, yeah, that's my dog.
Aww.
Surprised. I have
I have parrots in my bedroom, and they're usually really noisy, but they decided to behave today, so I'm happy about that. All right. So, in order to facilitate this class, I've decided to dedicate this group, or this circle, I should say, to Ostara. And I think some of you guys might be familiar with her, especially some of you more like neo-pagan interested ladies out there. But Ostara is a deity of the full moon, and she's symbolized by the hare. And right now we're in the hare moon phase. So hares, rabbits are this like symbolically relevant animal through all these cultures across the world. Like you see them in Africa, you see them in Native America, Celtic beliefs, Asia, everywhere. And the funny thing about Ostara and her connection with spring and hares and is that people think she's like this ancient goddess, but she might have only been a figment of someone's imagination in the 1800s. So you might ask me, well, why would you dedicate a meeting to this lady that some random dude made up, right? Which I feel, I don't know how you feel, but I feel that just because something is contemporary doesn't mean it doesn't have validity, you know? And that her as a goddess, she's very popular amongst people in the 20th century. And even though she might not be the ancient romantic goddess that everybody wanted, she is still somebody that is a character and somebody that is worshipped. And I think it doesn't matter whether something is ancient or modern, as long as that symbology is important to you and you can work with it and you can incorporate it into your practice. So therefore, working with Ostara as a goddess of the moon, of spring, of fertility, of rabbits, she's a really potent goddess to work with when it comes to beginnings and new intentions.
How do you spell that?
Ostara, it's Ostara. So spring is the time where we can set our intentions and grow them.
Right.
Like we do with seeds, right? We plant our seeds in spring. So that's going to be the theme of the hare moon. And that's what this is going to all be about, right? And the moon, working with the moon or any celestial bodies, for that matter, is really important if you want to connect with nature. So if you align yourself with things in nature, you can harness its power and put it behind you. It becomes your ally. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you sync up with the moons, with the rhythms of the seasons and the astral bodies, you're looking at really potent practice. And it's important to pay attention to those things because so many times in modern life, we get caught up in the humdrum and we forget to incorporate ritual in our lives and we kind of get disconnected from nature.
Yeah, that's very true. You mind if I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
All right. As someone who practices like the wise woman tradition, and I work in a lot of womb magic and fertility and I deal with a bunch of different deities, and from my perspective, deities are just multiple aspects of yourself. But when it comes to the moon cycle, it matches, like it's the same as your menstrual cycle. It's the same amount of days, supposed to be, and when you're in perfect alignment, your moon cycle begins to flow with the actual moon cycle. So yeah, whenever I just want to say I agree with that, because the more that I follow the moon, the easier it is for me to recycle my emotions. Just like with my period, like if I have a lot on my chest, I try to release everything with my menstrual blood whenever I'm on my period. Like, for example, right now, my mother, she's having health issues, dealing with cancer and things of that nature. So I've been going through a lot of transitions, and, when you stressed out, it can stop your period from coming, or it can affect your menstrual cycle. When you eat certain things, it can affect your menstrual cycle. Your hormones, your emotions affect your menstrual cycle. So, I mean,
yeah. And the full moon can be a crazy time.
absolutely. And also being someone who's, been involved in multiple situations doing illegal activity, selling drugs and things like that. Yeah, the full moon, that's when, they say freaks come out at night. The full moon, you definitely see a lot of shit that you wouldn't see on a regular night.
Yeah. Without digressing too much, I had a friend that worked in a asylum and said that shit got real on the full moon. And so I think one way of looking at that symbolically is that the moon's light is in competition with the sun when it's at its fullest. So you got a little friction going on there, and that translates into us. But the moon is definitely really relevant for women, as you were saying. It connects to our menstrual cycles because it's also on a similar schedule. And many cultures also associate a female deity with the moon. So let me look at my notes real quick here. One of the things, as we're talking right now, I want you to make a list. Did you guys bring a notebook by any chance?
Yeah.
That one? Okay. If you don't have anything, you can keep it in your head for later. But I want you guys to make a list of things that you would like to achieve and your intentions for this spring. Okay? So just whatever comes up, it could be that project you never got to, that you'd like to get started on. It could be to do with your relationships, work with your kid, with your partner, whatever it is that you want to work on and you want to grow. Hey, Caitlin, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I figured I figured it was going to go a little long, and I was like, "Ooh, I should eat before."
It's all good. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, I'm glad to come. This is cool that you're hosting this.
Right? This is great. Also, if you're an introvert like me and like to be cozy in your house.
I can't wait for when this is over, though. And
hell yeah. Rocking the White Sox.
they're like REI hiking socks, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's just full on.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, have you seen like all those pictures about like the work from home outfits? My like, my work from home outfit is, I think you've seen this, Sophia, but it's like the most old lady cardigan ever.
Oh wow.
That is wonderful.
I'm like dying over here.
It's so bad it's good. It's massive.
Caitlin, if you would introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your experience with magic and mysticism and what your background is.
So I'm a tattoo artist, although I don't tattoo right now. But I'm an artist and I live in Denver. And let's see, I guess right now I'm reevaluating kind of like my path and like trying to come up with like a more diversified set of like I don't want to be so stuck on one thing, you know? So I want to be a little bit more multifaceted with like the way that I am as a person and the way that I do business. But what was the last question?
So tell us a little bit of your experiences with mysticism and magic, and if you have any background with those things.
Well, my grandmother gave me tarot cards, but she never like used them in front of me or anything like that. But I have her set, and then I wasn't very familiar at all until like I guess like about 5 to 8 years ago, around that time, I started looking into like more sacred geometry stuff and started researching that just through books, going to the library and like checking out encyclopedias. And that kind of ended up morphing into right now I'm reading like a lot of books about the occult. And I feel like a lot of the other books that I read that involve like science or like some of them talk about like quantum physics theories, although that's super over my head. I'm like barely struggling to keep up with those books. I feel like, you know, like when you view an electron, is it an electron? And it changes the way it behaves.
Yeah.
I feel like intention matters. And so lately in the last like year or so, I've kind of been reading more about like candle rituals. I've been kind of playing around with that. But honestly, I feel like most of what I really see come to pass is like either like affirmations or like written in my notebook.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great that you're discovering the crossover between perception and quantum physics and theoretical physics. But just to kind of update you, so right now we were discussing about the hare moon, which is what this moon is, symbolized by the rabbit, and the goddess representing that Ostara and her symbolic meaning, which real quick has to do with fertility, planting things, new beginnings. So I asked everybody to write down some things that you want to work on, some intentions and goals that you want to work on in this upcoming year, this upcoming spring. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and actually Keys kind of touched on it before, was the view of working with deities and going a little bit more into that. So there's many different like views about working with deities, and what I felt like you touched on, Keys, was a psychological view. of
Mm,
deities being part of your mind and within yourself, which is
right.
something that Carl Jung believed in as well, as
Mm-hmm.
the deities being the personification of certain emotions, of
Yes.
certain vibrations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then personifying that with a person or whatever the image is makes you have a better relationship with that energy, makes you
Mhm.
have the ability to interact with it.
Yeah, like personality traits or characteristics. Yeah, character
Right.
traits.
Like if you're talking about for this example, we're using Ostara, she is the person that we engage on when we're thinking about things that are new, about dawn, about creating things, really good for creativity. So when you guys are done planting your list, or I already skipped ahead in my words. When you're done creating your list, I want you to plant it when you have a chance. Tonight's the best night since it's the full moon. I want you to plant it. And that way you're planting your goals to grow.
What do you mean by planting?
So just get out your shovel, use your hands, whatever it is, find some dirt to the park and take those goals and put them in the ground so that they can grow.
Yeah, be careful going to the park though, sis. You might go to jail.
Don't touch the equipment.
Right now they're still allowing people in the park for exercise in Colorado, but don't get yourself in trouble if you're not allowed to in your area, and definitely stay safe with the virus and what's happening right now.
Yeah. And to also add to what you were saying about personally personifying the goddesses and deities, it also I'm sorry, what was the girl who just added on here with the blue hair? What was your name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin, yeah. And to throw a scientific splash, adding to what you were saying about the quantum physics. I've read books like The Keys of Solomon, right? And when you study the Keys of Solomon and the Yosha and things like that, he talks about how all of the demons that he, caged or dismissed or whatever, how they all come from different perspectives from your mind. Yes, baby.
All right. So the next thing I want all of you to work on is find another page and make a list about things you're grateful for, things that you might have accomplished, or things that have happened
Bring it to me, I'll open
in the recent past.
Bring it to me, I'll open it. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because, if you have intentions and goals, and when you accomplish them, you gotta be grateful for them. You gotta stop to smell the roses. And I know I struggle with this personally, but because I have a tendency to dwell on the negative that I'm working with. But it can be the smallest thing you're grateful for. Even if it's food and shelter, if it's that person that gave you a smile and made your day a little bit brighter, just give it a shot to think about those things and write them down.
Yes.
Someone's supposed to be in the first.
They are.
They're supposed to be in here. There it is. It was in your first deal.
All right. So you guys can also work on this list later, but when you have free time, doing it in a safe way, I recommend burning it. That's the most effective, for me personally, that's the most effective way. You're sending your gratitude up into the ether.
This is for the second list, yeah?
Yeah.
This is for gratitude.
Okay.
So we're sending out gratitude and we're planting our intentions. All right. But if you're scared of fire or whatever, another thing you can do is you can burn some sage or Palo Santo above the list, and that also symbolizes sending those thoughts out into the ether.
Should we post our list to the group chat as like inspiration, maybe?
So you can feel free to, but you can also feel free to keep things personal as well, if there's any like private things. But if you feel called to share, you can, which goes into my next part. I wanted to each of us share an intention that we would like to grow. Actually, Caitlin kind of started with this, funny enough. It's like we're on the same vibe, Caitlin. But share an intention that you feel comfortable with sharing, because working in a group and having it known together can be really powerful. And I want us to take, since we're collaborating, right? This is a co-creation. I want us to take each person's intention and write it in our intentions list so we can help each other out when we bury the list. Okay, so I'm going to start, and maybe we'll do it the opposite way, because I had like first person to join to last, the introduction, so we'll go last to first. That means Caitlin after me. So my intention for this spring is to work on a YouTube channel, okay, and to have success with that. All right. We'll give it a second and then we'll move on to Caitlin, and then who was it, Keys or Emily?
I think Emily and then Keys.
And then you, yeah, okay. So Caitlin?
Well, I've actually been thinking, because I've been reevaluating everything lately, and kind of like redesigning my life right now. And I feel like right around New Year's, I realized that I felt like I had like done a lot of self-work, but I didn't feel like I had given that much to others. So this year, I actually really want to start like a creative women's group of some sort. Maybe like a creative women's group of Denver, kind of like gang, but like maybe expanded and like invite more people. And I don't know how to do it. I'm still in the very beginning stages of this thought.
So, and in a sentence, what would that be?
Start a creative women's group.
Okay. So write that down for Caitlin, and then we'll move on to Emily. Okay.
So I think my intention for this spring is to start healing. I'm going through a divorce and a lot of heartbreak. And so I would really like that would be my big intention, is to heal on that side and on the physical fitness parts, get into a routine where I'm doing it at least six days a week for the spring.
Cool. I need to do more of that too. All right.
All right. It's my turn now,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, one of my full moon intentions, I've been going through a transition, which I guess you could say that happens a lot in my life. I tend to go through a lot of transitions, Anyway, my intention is for this transition and with all these things that I plan to go into as far as my service to other people. It's just that this time, before I go into it, I want to just put myself first. I just want to put myself first.
So putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of playing everybody mama all the time.
I feel that.
Gotta give yourself some self-love, right?
Yeah, and the more self-love you give to yourself, the easier it is to be a service to other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've dealt with my dark side, I've dealt with other people's dark sides. And quite frankly, you get a headache from time to time and you forget about yourself. You start to lose yourself and all that. So I'm just ready to put my desires first so that I can evolve and go ahead and break those barriers that I've been sitting here looking at.
Heck yeah. All right, Laura.
I would say that my intention for this spring and kind of for the rest of this year is to start studying for the LSAT and start preparing to apply to law school this fall.
Ooh.
Power to you.
Yeah.
Real
Wow. Can you be my lawyer?
Absolutely.
That legalese and law degree is a powerful thing in this day. With everything
Absolutely.
going on,
I was a paralegal for the past 6 months, but my boss was sexually harassing me. And I reached out to the last girl to see if it was in my head or not. And she was like, oh no, it was just as bad. And if not, it was worse for her. So it really validated oh, I need to do this because I need to have my own law firm so that I can protect the female paralegals and the female legal assistants. So yeah.
That's awesome.
And female business owners too. Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And who do we have next? Morgan?
I think it's Lilac. Actually, no, it is me.
It is you.
That's right. Mix up orders. So my intention is one of them is to learn to center myself better. I struggle with bad mood swings as a symptom of ADHD. And it's something that I'm trying to do shadow work and figure out some things to try and work through, just so that, once that rabbit hole starts, it's hard to stop. And it's one of those things that it's one of my goals for this spring.
Yeah. Shadow work can be very hard, but it's very powerful. It's effective. No?
Yeah. It's always worth it too.
It's super rewarding. Yeah.
Better. You cry a lot during, but it's so worth it after.
No, there's no spiritual bypassing involved. You just gotta face it and look those demons in the eyes.
Yeah, tame them. Put a leash on them.
All right.
Okay. Mine is to learn how to hoop.
Hey.
My sister-in-law's learning that.
Caitlin and I actually met through the flow arts community.
Really? That's awesome.
Hold on. Wait. What's hooping? Because I'm thinking basketball. Wait, what are we doing?
Oh, like the hula hooping, like dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, okay. Who just hula hooping? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Like Google it. It's crazy.
Google it. It's intense. It's really hard.
It's an art.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like intense hula hooping, like
goes
next
from
level.
arms to like
Yeah, it's not the normal.
And they light up
you're thinking of.
sometimes.
Okay, that sounds tight.
It's really cool.
Learning performance. Hula hooping.
Sounds like a cool way to express yourself too.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
All right, keep us everybody. Okay, so just a quick thought on manifestation. I want to share with you guys. I don't believe in like the secret passive manifestation. If you're doing spell work, manifestation, prayer, all the same thing, different words. Action is so important. So magic and can really help get you there internally, but you gotta step that foot forward. You have to strive yourself. So yeah. This is great. I'm gonna plant it tonight, and I really encourage all of you to, now that it's getting dark over here, go and hang out out your window, in your front porch, hang out and look at the moon and bask in its light, connect, And
have you guys heard everybody howl yet?
What's that?
Have you guys heard everybody howl at 8 o'clock yet?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh
Where
my
do you
gosh.
live?
It is.
I'm in Littleton.
Littleton? Okay, yeah. Where I live, everybody does it. It's insane.
Where do you live?
There's so much. I'm in West Littleton, and so you can hear it like all the way south because we're right up against the hogback, and you can hear it echo. It's crazy.
It's so cool. It feels so nice.
So before we close this, I just wanted to run by you guys. Are you down to do a full moon meeting next full moon?
Yeah.
Do you want to make this a thing?
Yeah.
Hopefully we can like start doing some in person, but even after this clears up, I'm down to do virtual meetings for us who might be traveling or busy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Definitely.
I like that. That sounds awesome.
Cool.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And I also had someone suggest doing like a book club. I know it can be difficult with everybody's schedules, but if we just do like a little bit at a time, if you guys are interested, and we can Caitlin, I'll add you, and Keys, I'll add you to the group chat, but we can discuss if there's any reading material we want to do, because I definitely want to learn together with you guys and
That'd be really helpful. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
on the same page, pun intended. All right. So I got a little English self-affirmation mantra that I thought we could repeat 7 times together. So the mantra is, I am, and that is enough. I am, and that is enough. Okay.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I didn't want to go into like the Sanskrit or pull out the ikiros on the first day. I just thought, keep it simple. We'll do this in English. All right. So again, get in your comfortable position and make sure you're all settled. Okay. And just a quick reminder, it is I am, and that is enough. Okay. We're together now. I am,
And that is enough.
I am,
I am,
that
and
is,
that is enough.
I am,
I am,
that is
and that is enough.
I am,
I am, 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 and that is enough.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for organizing this. Oh
Yeah,
my
thank you
goodness.
so much.
Oh, I hear the howling.
Yeah.
Yay. 8 o'clock. Perfect.
8 o'clock.
I can hear it out the window.
I can hear
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Heck no.
A little voice out my window too. Perfect.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
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 Stay good.
See you guys in the group chat.